Hello everyone, Andy Miller here from Calvary Church in Claremorris, and a very happy new year to you. It's hard to believe that 2020 has passed and that 2021 is upon us. And surely 2020 has been a year like no other. I'm sure if you were anything like us, you didn't manage to do half of the things that you thought you would do in 2020. And yet maybe you found time to do things that you never thought you would have time to do. That project in the house or the garden, taking up that new hobby or reading that book. Things that there were never time to do, and yet suddenly there was plenty of time. Well, the Bible speaks about the times and the seasons in life. In Ecclesiastes chapter 3, it says this, it says there is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to uproot. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to tear down, and a time to build. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones, and a time to gather them. A time to embrace, and a time to refrain. A time to search, and a time to give up. A time to keep, and a time to throw away. A time to tear, and a time to mend. A time to be silent, and a time to speak. A time to love, and a time to hate. A time for war, and a time for peace. Now surely 2020 has been a time when there has been more weeping than laughing. A time when there's been more mourning than dancing. A time with more refraining from embracing than embracing. A time with more silence than speaking. And none of us know what times and seasons 2021 will bring. But I want to ask you a simple question. Will you have time for God in 2021? Will you make time for God in 2021? You know, time's one of those strange things, isn't it? We all have the same amount of it. All of us are given the same amount of time, and it's up to us to decide what we're going to do with it. I talked to an elderly man this year, and the conversation stuck with me because he said that he had always wanted to read the Bible, but he never seemed to find the time. And it stuck with me because if that man doesn't find time soon to read the Bible, then he's going to run out of time. See, we all have decisions to make about how we're going to use our time. And we have time for all sorts of things. We have time for work, and time for pleasure, and time for hobbies, and time for family. But will you make time for God in 2021? The Bible says, what use is it if we gain the whole world and all the pleasures of the world, and yet lose or forfeit our own soul? What good is it if we get all that the world has to offer, and yet when we die, our soul goes to hell? And so I urge you to make time for God in 2021. And if we can be of any help to you as you search for God, then please do let us know. A very happy new year to you, and I trust that God will bless you richly in 2021. Thanks for listening. Goodbye and God bless.